What is up, guys, and welcome back to Happy Hour with McQueen. As you guys can see from the title, this story, I've never in my life followed something, fully investigated something as much as I did this story. I woke up this morning, today, February 14th. I've been doing nothing but following this case. I just found out about it this morning, and y'all. So I was actually going to do a story. I was going to wrap this story into with some other stories, but I was like, this story, the more that it started to unfold throughout today alone, I was like, no, I got to do this story, just it by itself. So the title of today's story is called Gone Girl, the Kalina Collier, I think that's how you pronounce her last name, Collier story. Y'all, when I tell you, it was literally like a movie today. Like, legit a movie today. And on each hour, or every time a new detail kept coming out about this story, I was like, by the end, y'all. But don't worry. I don't know what the fuck that was. But don't worry. We're going to discuss everything. We're going to talk about the main story, how it was reported. Then we're going to talk about Kalina's version, and we're going to talk about what the hotel was saying, and then I'm going to wrap it all together, and I'm going to tell you what actually happened. So before we get started, make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, because y'all, doing YouTube is hard. I look a mess right now. I know I do. I just have to do this video, but come on, show your support. Give me a like, comment, subscribe, give me something. So without further ado, oh my God, without further ado. Is it without further ado, right? Without further ado? Without further ado. Let's get started. So on January 28th, Kalina Collier was traveling to Jamaica with her friends Carolina and Amanda. I'm not going to pronounce the name of the place in Jamaica because I'm pretty sure I'm going to fuck it up. This is the name of it. Yeah. So they were traveling to Jamaica from January 28th to February 1st. As we all know, with COVID and stuff going on, if you're traveling out of the country, before you are allowed back into the U.S., you have to present a negative COVID test. So on Saturday, January 30th, the girls were tested for COVID. Two of the friends, Carolina and Amanda, came back negative. However, Carolina's came back, Kalina, wow. Kalina was told that her test came back positive. So, of course, she had to quarantine for 14 days before she could fly. So her friends were put in one room, and the other girls was put in another room. So they were separated. Eventually, the two friends were told that, okay, hey, if you sign an NDA, you can fly back home today. While Kalina had to stay back. Now, a lot of people were saying, well, why did they have to sign an NDA? Blah, blah, blah. I don't really know. But it was reported that Kalina and her two friends were put into separate rooms with no food, no water, and that they couldn't leave. Kalina had reported that they had took away the key, so she was unable to leave the room. So on Sunday, January 31st, Kalina had reported that authorities tried to force her to go to a hospital where she could quarantine. However, she refused because she said, I am not sick. I have a negative COVID test. Why are you guys trying to take me to the hospital? And eventually she felt like they were trying to kidnap her, sex traffic her, or something like that. So she didn't want to go to this hospital. So apparently Kalina, I'm pretty sure from the time that she had got the positive COVID test and was put in the room by herself, I'm pretty sure she was in contact with her mom because her mom actually flew to Jamaica and actually got to Jamaica on February 1st, Monday, February 1st. So Kalina's mother, Candace Page, arrived in Jamaica but wasn't allowed to see her due to her being in quarantine. So at this time, the hotel had actually made an offer to Kalina's friends, Carolina and Amanda, to refund them the money for their room, have them sign the NDA, and allow them to go home. And they accepted, and the next day they left Jamaica. So on Tuesday, February 2nd, Kalina was retested for COVID. We will later come to find out that she actually had, in total, 3 COVID tests. 2 came back positive, 1 came back negative. On Thursday, February 4th, Kalina goes on live with one of her friends, and she's basically saying what happened. She shows the negative COVID test that she has. She says how they tried to take her to the hospital and how she felt like they were trying to sex traffic her. And she also says how there was no food. She was not given any water. They're having to come pick up the trash in her room. It smelled really bad in her room. It was dirty. And the biggest speculation of it all is when she pointed out these cameras. She said, Kalina reports that she found 3 or so cameras in her room and reported that there were also hidden cameras in her mother's room and in her friend's room. And she went on live to talk about this. Let's take a look.
This got even worse today. I just found 3 cameras in my room. 3. And I'm going to show them to you guys, because I don't want you guys to think that I'm bugging. And of course I recorded this, and everyone's gonna know about this. So here's one. I covered it up, obviously. Here's the other one. And this one up here. So I just found out that I was being recorded the entire time I've been in this room. There are cameras in my mom's room. There are cameras in the room that my friends were quarantined in. There were cameras in the room that we paid for. So I'm finished. So I've had enough. You guys have me sitting here quarantining. You're not letting me know what's going on. I do not even have fucking COVID. You guys are getting money from the government.
At this point, the live has got about 100,000 views. It's starting to trend on Instagram, and people are starting to hashtag Where's Kalina. There was even a page that got started, Ocean, what is it called? Ocean Coral _lied, that was really pushing to get information about her whereabouts and what was going on and stuff like that. So it was really starting to blow up. Now, here's where things start to get just really get taken to another level. On Saturday, February 6th, it was reported that Kalina's Instagram and Facebook completely deactivated. That completely took people for a loop, because she's a blogger, she's a YouTuber. Why would this social media person who, documents every part of her life, why would she deactivate her Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that?
This is a whipped cream cheese spread. 1 can of blueberry pie we place in the overhead bin with wheel. We're about to land.
High fashion, like Goya, G-Wagon, or the Rover. I put some ice.
So to make it even worse, on Sunday, February 7th, literally the next day, Candace Page, Kalina's mom, her Facebook and social media gets deactivated as well. It gets switched to private. She's blocking users. She's not contacting anybody. So at this point, nobody has heard from Kalina or her mom, Candace. Somehow they got a hold of Kalina's number and her mom's number. So, they start calling the phone, and people are making reports that either, they're not picking up, or they would pick up and there'd be this guy answering the phone, or it just be all of these really weird people answering the phone. So at this point, everybody's freaking out, because they're like, oh my God, they're gone. They've been abducted. They don't have their phones. They took their phones, and now somebody else has them. Now the hotel is trying to cover it up, and the government is trying to cover it up. So on that same day, Kalina's Instagram reactivates, and she makes a text post basically saying she's okay, and for people to stop spreading rumors that she's missing. She's not missing, which that really gets the fuel, that really starts adding fuel to the fire, and this whole situation starts getting even bigger. People feel like it's weird that she posted this message. Somebody clearly has her phone, and they're trying to act like she's okay. Why isn't she saying anything? Why isn't the hotel saying anything? Clearly she's missing, and something is really going wrong here, and people really, really started to freak out. Then the hashtag where's Kalina and all this other stuff started getting even bigger. So at this time, Amanda posts a series of stories saying that she talks to Kalina on FaceTime on a daily basis, that she's okay. And she had made a post saying, "Stop harassing and blaming me," before she quickly deleted it. And then comments were turned off on Kalina's Instagram, Amanda's, and Carolina's, and also Candace's page. All on the same day, Ocean Coral Springs, which is the hotel that they were staying at, were blocking comments from being made on their account. Also, contact was made to Kalina's cousin, who claimed that she had not heard from Kalina since Friday, and she was feeling worried. So the next day, on Tuesday, February 9th, yeah guys, I know, it's a lot. So on Tuesday, February 9th, Kalina's cousin, somebody had reached out to Kalina's cousin, and she was basically saying how she believes the friend's claims that Kalina is okay. She hadn't spoken to Kalina directly, but she felt like she was okay, and she declined to communicate with this page that was reaching out to her anymore about the matter. On the same day, Ocean Coral Springs were claiming that Kalina was no longer accepting phone calls, and they will not connect anyone to her room. Previously, they claimed she was available but not answering the phone. Now, this one, we really don't know if that's true or not, saying that they will not connect anyone to her room. There's no facts proving that. But anyway, so the same page that I'm talking about, there was plenty of people that were trying to call this hotel, call Kalina's phone, call the mom, call the friends, all that good stuff. So eventually contact was made with Kalina's stepdad, who is Candace's husband, who was unaware but was actively pursuing the situation. So at this point, people were calling the police, they were calling the hotel, they were calling the U.S. Embassy, they were calling JetBlue. I mean, they were calling everybody because nobody was hearing from Kalina, and people were really freaking out. At this point, this morning, when I had found out about it, they still had not heard anything from Kalina, and they weren't really hearing much from the hotel either. So it's freaking people out. It's like, okay, well, if she's fine, why is there no proof that she's alive? Why is there no proof that she's in this hotel room if you say that she is? Where is she? And a lot of people thought, wouldn't we hear from her? This girl that's always on social media, who is a blogger, who was vlogging her trip. Wouldn't we hear from her? Now, obviously, at this point, you know, the hotel is really starting to catch some heat about this situation that's going on with this missing girl. So they decide to release a statement on February 13th at around noon. And this is what it said. Okay, nobody has seen this girl. Nobody's giving much information. What is going on? So I really started freaking out because I was like, is she really missing? What's going on? Why haven't we heard from her? Why is her phone disconnected? And then her mom going there, why is her mom's phone disconnected? I was like, that doesn't make any sense. If I go there, something's wrong with my child, I'm not going to deactivate my phone willingly. Y'all. Boom! Like a fucking bomb. Now let's rewind a little bit and let's take a step back and let's start, picking apart this story and start figuring out exactly where you can pinpoint where this story starts to unravel. So the first obvious thing, when I first seen this video, even earlier this morning, the cameras. The cameras. Okay, let's look where she is saying these cameras are. So if you can see, she's pointing at these cameras, and I'm noticing something. I'm like, okay, well, those are some really obvious hidden cameras. Like, if they were trying to spy on you or something like that, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have cameras that are smack dab right there where anybody could notice them. That was the first red flag. The second, I'm looking around in this video and I'm like, okay, I see these cameras that are covered up, but I was like, where are the fire? The fire sprinklers. And then she goes in the bathroom, and usually in hotel bathrooms, there is a fire sprinkler that's literally like right in the middle of the bathroom because of the size of it. So if you put it right in the middle, wherever the fire gets started, you can be able to put it out like right in there, right? So I see that she says that the camera is like right there in the middle of the bathroom. And I'm like, that's impossible because that's where the fire sprinkler would go. But I was like, you know what? But that part of it, I did not believe, only because I was like, okay, if they're going to be, try to do it on the low, I'm pretty sure that they would do it on the low. Why would they have cameras that's just out there just like that? But I was like, the second red flag. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I'm reading people's story and I'm reading everybody who's in the uproar and, really freaking out, posting these hashtags and things like that. And then I'm like, the two friends that she went to Jamaica with, why aren't they saying anything? Then everybody was like, well, Johnson, because they signed the NDA. And I'm like, okay, fine, they signed the NDA. But then I'm like, okay, well, if there is some real concern here, why is nobody in her family speaking out? Not the cousin, not the father, not other friends of Kalina's who did not travel there. I was like, nobody is really causing, nobody who is close in her close circle, nobody's really causing an uproar about this. Then the third red flag. So I'm like, okay, so then her mom comes, she flies to Jamaica to go visit her daughter, see what's going on. But why would they kidnap the mom? That would be so obvious, because obviously, now I'm not sitting here trying to say that sex trafficking is not a thing, because it definitely is, especially abroad. When you are traveling from a different country, where you're not from, that is definitely a possibility. But do you know how ballsy that hotel, if they were trying to do some cover-up or some sex trafficking thing, do you know how ballsy they would have to be to not only take this girl, but take her mom too? And then the fourth thing that really started, getting my mind really working is when reports came out that she had 3 COVID tests. One upon her arrival that came up positive, or 2. And then the one that she took on February 2nd that came up negative. So as I'm going through these things in my head and, these red flags and, I'm really at this point, I'm really on the fence about what's really going on. I'm like, okay, do I believe the hotel? Do I believe Kalina? Like, did she get abducted? Is she lying? I didn't really know until I seen this.
Keep it moving. Record anything you want to record. Feel free. Feel free, because she's a mess. She's disgusting.
We could just mind our business for hours and y'all want to come follow people.
The nerve of you. Sunday morning, the nerve of you. You don't have no kind of dignity or no kind of respect.
Sorry.
Disgusting woman like you. Oh, you want to put on the shop and give me the fucking show you want. Come out of my face.
That is Kalina. That's her mom in the airport. Clearly not abducted. Clearly not sex trafficked. Clearly fine. Clearly have their phones. She took her braids out because she didn't want anybody to notice her after realizing that with all of this stuff that was going on. The lady that was following them was pretty much trying to get them to make a statement about what happened, that she was okay and all this other stuff, because at this point, so many people it comes to find out that authorities, the hotel, and the health department were trying to get Kalina to make a public statement saying that she is fine and that she is okay. Come to find out, she was okay the whole time. They extended her stay for free. They gave her free stay. They gave her accommodations, room service, all that good stuff. And even extended that to her mother. I believe they let her mother stay at a really discounted rate. Since she was there waiting for her daughter. And apparently everything was fine. They had their phones the whole time. So after this video surfaces, you still got people on social media who was like, no, she was abducted, and the only reason why they let her go is because, we caused an uproar. The one thing that I hate about social media is that people are so gullible. If you get the right person with the right video at the right amount of time, they could say, oh my God, this patch of sky, it just right here where I'm at is yellow. And it'll go viral on Twitter, and you'll have so many people being like, oh, no, the sky where he's at is yellow. Even though it's clearly blue. But he'd be like, no, this patch of sky right here is yellow. People are so gullible. They were trying to say that because they caused an uproar, they stopped her from the hotel had to let her go. And it's like, no, today is February 14th. She had to quarantine for 14 days. She got that test result on what? On the 30th? This is the perfect time for her to leave. What are you talking about? This was the day that she was supposed to leave. This was the end of her quarantine. So then I'm also looking at what people are saying, and I'm just like, no. If you go back, think about it. Nobody's in the uproar except these people who have no idea who this girl is personally. Those are the only people that are in the uproar. Her friends are not speaking. Her family is not speaking. Why do you think they're not speaking? Why do you think they're not talking about the situation? Because they already know what's up. In that live video, when she's talking to Amanda, you can clearly see that she's pretty quiet. She looking like, girl, you sound crazy. She's telling you sound crazy. In her head, she's probably like, yo, this bitch is crazy. And she didn't want to say anything. Why? Because they all knew that she was fine. It's so crazy because there actual sex trafficking going on. Why are we playing around with this? This is the second girl from New York to make false claims about being kidnapped. Now, I will say this. Now, she did not necessarily say that she was kidnapped or that she was being sex trafficking. The little blogs and Instagrammers and things like that, they took that conspiracy to the next level and they literally blew it up. But the problem where it comes in for her is why didn't you say anything? I don't understand why was it so hard to just quarantine? Come on, America. Are we really that entitled? Now these blogs and things that were posting about her free Kalina, find her, she's been abducted, and tarnishing this hotel's name, I really feel like the one thing that sucks is you have a lot of these people trying to do journalistic work who are not journalists. They do not have a journalistic background. They aren't journalists, and they just start spreading any kind of accusations, no matter how outrageous that they are. They literally came up with this story or this rhetoric of this girl being abducted and possibly sexually sex trafficked with no facts at all. And they weren't even trying to look at the facts. It was, she was sex trafficked and abducted, period. That's it. And now they put this hotel's reputation in there. Now, I mean, I don't know what goes on in the hotel. Apparently, people found out other reports and stuff like that. But it's just like, okay. But with this situation right here, it's just like there was no factual evidence to prove that she was abducted. And I don't know how people couldn't see that. Soon, when I found out about this, the red flag started going up in my head. Immediately when I realized, okay, nobody in her close circle is talking about this at all. So I'm sitting there, as I'm, digging before this video had came out, because I knew, today, people were saying today was supposed to be the day that she's supposed to leave. And I was like, okay, so we'll know how this is going to unfold, even if she gets on that plane or not. So, but I told myself, I was like, I feel like, or what if her and her mom aren't answering because she lied? She made the whole thing up. I know if I did something like that, I'm not going to be on my phone either. I really want to know what in her right mind would make her think that she would get away with, what did she think was going to happen? So finally, the one person that we were all waiting to hear for, Kalina herself, did make a post in a statement basically saying this. Now, the story's still new. It's still developing. But I honestly think she's staying quiet right now because she really has to figure out how she is going to fix this situation that she got herself into. I don't feel like she was ever in any harm. I know people are probably out there like, okay, well, how do you know that? How do you know that? And people were just people were going insane online. Oh, the hotel should post her COVID results and da da da. And it's just like, no, you can't do that. You can't post somebody's personal medical records without their consent. And then it's just like, okay, well, how are they going to provide you proof? The hotel was really in a sticky situation. It's still going on. This is still new, and it's still going on as this is being made to the public. So it's like, you got to figure out how they're going to say it, and then, this is now becoming a legal matter. So it's not much that they can say anyway. And it's just like, and then how are they going to provide you proof that she's alive? What are they going to do? They're going to bust in the room and, and snap a picture of her? How are they going to let you know that she is alive? That was for her to do. So while people were questioning this hotel, it was like, okay, well, why aren't you questioning this girl? Because while everybody was like, okay, well, why isn't the hotel doing this? Why isn't the hotel doing that? And I'm like, okay, well, she's a blogger. She vlogs her whole life. Why isn't she posting that she is okay? I've never been in a situation like this, but in my head, I would think, okay, if they're going to kidnap her, wouldn't they just do it? Why keep her at the hotel? Wouldn't they just kidnap her, send her somewhere else? If they're going to put her into sex trafficking or something like that, wouldn't they take her and just whisk her away somewhere? Why would they keep her in the hotel? Even until her mom gets there. It just didn't make any sense. And then why would her mom get there and then deactivate her social media while she's looking for her daughter? Furthermore, why would they abduct her mom? I don't know. Y'all, and to think that there are still people out there who believe that she was actually taken, or she was actually being held against her will, and the only reason why they let her go is because people were bringing heat to them. And it's just like, no, that's not why they let her go. It's literally February 14th. You have to quarantine for 14 days. She got that. She was told that she had to quarantine on January 30th. I don't understand how this is so hard to wrap your head around. It literally makes logical sense. Have to quarantine for 14 days. She left on the 14th day like she was supposed to. 2021 has been like, wow, 2021 is already starting to give 2020 a run for its money. I mean, oh my gosh, we had the riots, we had Gorilla Glue hair, and now we have Gone Girl, the Kalina Collier story. That is the new Gone Girl, the Kalina Collier story. Everybody can rest easy. Everybody that was looking for her, who was worried about her, she's fine. She's fine. She lied. I should have known right when she tried to point out the cameras that you covered up. And then another thing that I was thinking, I'm like, when people usually find cameras in their hotel room, Airbnb, or anything like that, they usually take a picture or a video of the actual camera itself. Why would you cover it up and then be like, okay, well, now let me show you? I'm exhausted. This story. If you want to see more info on this story, just go follow Happy Hour with McQueen or look up the hashtag Kalina Collier on Instagram or Twitter. I'm pretty sure there's going to be more information to come out of the story. I promise you. Ever since this morning when I found out about it, it seems like every hour there is new information that has come out about this story. And I'm pretty sure by the time I upload this video, it's going to be even more information that comes out. Look, I don't need anybody commenting under Happy Hour with McQueen Instagram or anything like that saying, oh, well, it's just like, shut up. She lied. Take the L with her. She lied. Period. But anyways, guys, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And be sure to follow my Instagram page at Happy Hour with McQueen. I am exhausted. I'm about to go lay down. I'm about to go to sleep. There's people lying about getting sex trafficked, abducted. What the hell are we coming to?
Collier said that there were 3 cameras in her room. So I'm going to check this out. She checked out of the hotel today. So I'm making sure that if there were cameras in her room, then I'll give you a view of that. Collier was staying in room 1123. One of 5 rooms at the hotel, which is used specifically to quarantine or isolate people who have tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. Now, she was staying in this room for 14 days. I want to give you a look what the room looks like really. She just checked out, so the room is not yet clean, but she said there were cameras in this room. So I'm checking to see if there are cameras. There's a flashing light right here, which is a motion sensor. I believe that Collier may have thought that this was a camera, but that's a motion sensor that is used. Once you're in the room, it cools the room. This is the bedroom that she was in. This is her balcony, which faces the swimming pool. So she was able to, from what I understand from the management of the hotel, Collier was able to leave the room, sit on the balcony, but she could not mingle with the rest of the guests in the hotel. She had to be quarantined, and it's a stipulation by the Jamaican government. In addition to the fact that no one can leave Jamaica and enter the United States without a negative COVID-19 test. Collier had a positive test, and so she could not leave the country. I want to see if there are any more motion sensors in this room. Okay, there's one here, which seemed to have been tampered with. Management of the hotel says that she used a number of things to try to cover it because she said that there was a camera. In addition to the motion sensors in this room are that's a fire alarm over there. That looks like it could be, what is that right here? Smoke detector. So the room is equipped to accommodate visitors. Closet area. bathroom area. And another, oh, there goes another motion sensor, in the bathroom. So I believe that when Collier went online the first time, what she saw were these motion sensors. And I'm going to take you to another room that she was not in, so you can see that all the rooms at Ocean Coral Spring in Trelawney carries motion sensors. All the rooms here, every single room has motion sensors in the ceilings. And that's specifically to ensure that the air conditioner works with your body. If you're not in the room, then the sensor is not on, so they're able to conserve on electricity. Come with me to this room. This is another room, 1121, next door to where Collier was. This room is not occupied, but as soon as you get in, here is another motion sensor in this room. Another one in this bathroom. Here's the other motion sensor. And